All right, guys. So I was posted on a forum. I showed a picture of this. I got some dimensions from a gentleman, and he looked at the picture and he commented and said that I might want to thicken all this stuff up and think about vibration. Basically, when the motor's running at different speeds, this thing might start to oscillate because it's not really stiff enough. And admittedly, I did a whole bunch of stuff trying to take weight off of this. So I took his advice and I went and modified this piece and the pulley. So I opened up this diameter to make the shaft bigger, and then I beefed all this up. So I'm fixing to do a before and after so y'all can see that. So here we go. Just watch all this. Watch what's about to happen. I'm going to update it now. Here we go. Boom. So look at that difference between that. So you got a big fat shaft here, and you can see all this is way beefier. And if I do a cross like a side view, let's show that. Yeah, I'm going to hit the back button so you can see what it looked like before. Yeah, there's the before. So before, after. So this is so much beefier than it was. Still does the same thing. The only downside is this pulley, I'm going to have to machine the bore larger than it is now. Which that's not the end of the world, but it is an extra machining operation. But I don't have to even think about this now. This thing is so damn beefy, there's no way I'm going to have a problem with that. In fact, it is significantly beefier than the pump, and I can't change the pump. It is what it is. So I have no worries at all about this. The only downside, really, is I haven't done cost. Not sure how the cost is yet, but this now weighs a lot more. So before this weighed about 2 ounces, now it weighs 4.3 ounces. So we're only talking a couple ounces. It's really not much, but it did get heavier. So that's really the only downside. So anyway, figured I'd show you guys that. Actually, I'll tell you what. Let's look at a cross section. This is kind of cool to see as well. So I'm going to go into here, and this is just kind of chopping them apart so you can see the thickness. And you'll note this cross section, part of the design was to keep this pretty beefy. And if I flop to this cross section, this is doing like 90 degrees from there. I'll edit this so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So here's the part, and you can see how I'm slicing it. What I wanted to show you is right here, this is just like a wall of metal that's all connected. You can see it right here as well. So when you get on the edges of the pulley, like right there, you actually do have this really wide beam that ties this all together, and that's really going to increase the stiffness. So some of these cross-section stuff isn't really obvious unless you actually slice it, or if you can just think of stuff like that. But it gives you an idea of, like, in the middle of the part, like right there, that's probably the thinnest cross-section, but you can tell it just gets wider and wider from the middle as you get towards the edges, and that right there is huge. So don't think we're going to have any issues with that. We probably overdid it, but again, after the thought coming up, I was like, I really don't want to have issues with this. And the only reason I hadn't beefed up this shaft before was I didn't want to machine the pulley, but we just committed to it. So anyway, show y'all guys that, and y'all take it easy.